yamunatiravanachari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayo Krishna Balaram, Jayo Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jayo Krishna Balaram. Jayo Radhe Shyam, Lalita Vishaka, Jayo Radhe Shyam. Jayo Gauranitai, Jayo Gauranitai. Jayo Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Jayo Prabhupada. Jam Vishnupada Paramhamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotara Sat Shri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jam Vishnupada Paramhamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotara Sat Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupada Srila Gaur Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Jayam Vishnupada Srila Sachidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. Jayam Vishnupada Vaishnava Sarabhoma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Jai Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhattara Gunata Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasara Gunata Sadgoswami Prabhu ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. प्रेम से खाओ श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपिका श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री वृंदावन मायपुर धाम की जय। गंगमयी यमुनमयी की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी देवी की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। इस्कॉन वर्तमान गुरु वृंद की जय। सामवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि। All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome everyone. We are studying chapter 1. Observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukṣetra, verse 1. Before we recite the verse, we can recite the prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Verse 1, text 1, chapter 1, text 1. Dhṛtarāṣṭra uvāca. Dharma-kṣetre kuru-kṣetre. Samavetā yuyutsavaḥ. Māmakāḥ pāṇḍavāś caiva. Kim akurvata Sañjaya. Dhṛtarāṣṭra uvāca. Dharma-kṣetre kuru-kṣetre. Samavetā yuyutsavaḥ. Māmakāḥ pāṇḍavāś caiva. Kim akurvata Sañjaya. Dhṛtarāṣṭra uvāca. Dharma-kṣetre kuru-kṣetre. Samavetā yuyutsavaḥ. Māmakāḥ pāṇḍavāś caiva. Kim akurvata Sañjaya.
Dhṛtarāṣṭra uvāca. Dharma-kṣetre kuru-kṣetre. Samavetā yuyutsavaḥ. Māmakāḥ pāṇḍavāś caiva. Kim akurvata Sañjaya. Dhṛtarāṣṭra uvāca. Dharma-kṣetre kuru-kṣetre. Samavetā yuyutsavaḥ. Māmakāḥ pāṇḍavāś caiva. Akurvata Sañjaya. Dhṛtarāṣṭra uvāca. Dharma-kṣetre kuru-kṣetre. Samavetā yuyutsavaḥ. Māmakāḥ pāṇḍavāś caiva. Akurvata Sañjaya. Dhṛtarāṣṭra uvāca. Dharma-kṣetre kuru-kṣetre. Samavetā yuyutsavaḥ. Māmakāḥ pāṇḍavāś caiva. Kim akurvata Sañjaya. Dhṛtarāṣṭra uvāca. Dharma-kṣetre kuru-kṣetre. Samavetā yuyutsavaḥ. Māmakāḥ pāṇḍavāś caiva. Kim akurvata Sañjaya.
Word to word meaning. Dhṛtarāṣṭra uvāca. King Dhṛtarāṣṭra said, Dharma-kṣetre, in the place of pilgrimage. Kuru-kṣetre, in the place named Kurukṣetra. samavetā, assembled, yuyutsavaḥ, desiring to fight, māmakāḥ, my party, sons, Pāṇḍavāḥ, the sons of Pāṇḍu, cha, and, eva, certainly, kim, what, akurvata, did they do, Sañjaya, O Sañjaya. Translation, purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. Dhṛtarāṣṭra said, O Sañjaya, after my sons and the sons of Pāṇḍu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukṣetra desiring to fight, what did they do? Purport. Bhagavad-gītā is the widely read theistic science summarized in the Gītā-māhātmya, Glorification of the Gītā. There it is says that one should read Bhagavad-gītā very scrutinizingly with the help of a person who is a devotee of Śrī Kṛṣṇa and try to understand it without personally motivated interpretations. The example of clear understanding is there in the Bhagavad-gītā itself, in the way the teachings is understood by Arjuna, who heard the Gītā directly from the Lord. If someone is fortunate enough to understand the Bhagavad-gītā, that in that line of disciplic succession, without motivated interpretation, then he surpasses all studies of Vedic wisdom and all scriptures of the world. One will find in the Bhagavad-gītā all that is contained in other scriptures, but the reader will also find things which are not to be found elsewhere. That is the specific standard of the Gītā. It is a perfect theistic science because it is directly spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa. The topics discussed by Dhṛtarāṣṭra and Sañjaya are described in the Mahabharata, form the basic principle for this great philosophy. It is understood that this philosophy evolved on the battlefield of Kurukṣetra, which is a sacred place of pilgrimage from the immemorial time of Vedic age. It was spoken by the Lord when He was present personally on this planet for the guidance of mankind. The word dharma-kṣetre, a place where religious rituals are performed, is significant because on the battlefield of Kurukṣetra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was present on the side of Arjuna. Dhṛtarāṣṭra, the father of the Kurus, was highly doubtful about the possibility of his son's ultimate victory. In his doubt, he inquired from his secretary Sañjaya, what did they do? He was confident that both his sons and the sons of his younger brother Pāṇḍu were assembled in the field of Kurukṣetra for a determined engagement of the war. Still, his inquiry is significant. He did not want a compromise between the cousins and the brothers, and he wanted to be sure of the fate of his sons on the battlefield. Because the battle was arranged to be fought at Kurukṣetra, which is mentioned elsewhere in the Vedas as a place of worship, even for the denizens of heaven, Dhṛtarāṣṭra became very fearful about the influence of the holy place on the outcome of the battle. He knew very well that this would influence Arjuna and the sons of Pāṇḍu favorably, because by nature they were all virtuous. Sañjaya was a student of Vyasa, and therefore by the mercy of Vyasa, Sañjaya was able to envision the battlefield of Kurukṣetra even while he was in the room of Dhṛtarāṣṭra. And so Dhṛtarāṣṭra asked him about the situation on the battlefield. Both the Pāṇḍavas and the sons of Dhṛtarāṣṭra belong to the same family, but Dhṛtarāṣṭra's mind is disclosed herein. He deliberately claimed only his sons as Kurus, and he separated the sons of Pāṇḍu from the family heritage. One can thus understand the specific position of the Dhṛtarāṣṭra in his relationship with his nephews, the sons of Pāṇḍu. As in the paddy field, the unnecessary plants are taken out, so it is expected from the very beginning of these topics that in the religious field of Kurukṣetra, where the father of religion, Śrī Kṛṣṇa, was present, the unwanted plants like Dhṛtarāṣṭra's son Duryodhana and others would be wiped out, and thoroughly religious persons headed by Yudhishthira would be established by the Lord. This is the significance of the words dharma-kṣetre and kuru-kṣetre apart from their historical and Vedic importance. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Jayo Śrī Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Welcome everyone for today's discussion. Before I begin sharing my understanding, I am grateful that I've given an opportunity to study and share my understanding. And please feel free to correct me and add on if you have more points to add. So this verse, especially the first verse, how does it begin? It begins with a question. Now this question is leading to a conversation, right, between Sañjaya and Dhṛtarāṣṭra. A question reveals our mindsets. Right? Here we are seeing the mindset of Dhṛtarāṣṭra. He is fearful, he is hopeful, he is desirous, and at the same time he is doubtful. He is fearful that what will be the influence of the Kurukṣetra, this holy place, will be on the outcome of the battle. He is doubtful whether his sons will be winning or losing. He is hopeful that maybe Pāṇḍavāś will compromise and leave the war. And he is desirous that his sons will win. Also, a question shows how we are oriented. Where are we? What is our purpose of life? And a question also defines our priorities. What is our priority? And a question also tells where we are at. So Shastra says Athato Brahma Jigyasa. The human form of life is meant for inquiry. But what kind of inquiry? The inquiry is about the purpose of life. Srila Prabhupada in the first canto, second chapter, Divine and Divinity, in the fifth verse, first chapter, second chapter, fifth verse, Prabhupada writes, this whole world is all about questions and answers. So birds, beasts, human beings, everyone is asking questions and answers. And these questions and answers are going perpetually. That means it's always happening. So the birds are going in the morning and they're asking questions. And they're coming back to the nest in the evening, they're still asking questions. And similarly is the man. Unless he's asleep, fast asleep, but he's always engaged in question and answers. And Prabhupada also gives examples of the businessmen. The businessmen are always asking questions. How can I make profit? Which is in more demand? How can I, increase my sales? They're asking questions. And also the lawyers in the courts, they're asking questions and they're getting answers. The students in the schools and colleges, they're asking questions and they're getting answers. And same is the legislators in the parliament. They're asking questions. Like now the budget has come. Like how do we get this one? How do we increase the tax? How do we reduce burden on the people? And also press representatives, politicians, they're always asking questions. So our life is full of questions and answers. So in the beginning of this battlefield, this question is very significant because it is showing the purpose of Dhṛtarāṣṭra and purpose of Krishna, both. Purpose of Dhṛtarāṣṭra is that in all means he wants to get the kingdom for his sons. And the purpose of Krishna, as explained by Prabhupada in the given example, the paddy field, where the weeds are removed to protect the good crop. So Krishna is personally removing all the weeds. So he is gathering all the burden of this world at this place to wipe them off. Now Krishna says, Yada yada hi dharmasya dhlanir bhavati bharata adharma abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. So what is Krishna saying? Whenever and wherever there is a decline of dharma, and wherever there are not religious principles are followed, at that place Krishna personally comes. And after that Krishna says, Pavitranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkritam dharma samsthapanadhaya sambhavami yuge yuge. And he comes from time to time. Why? To protect the religious principles, to protect the devotees, and also to remove the irreligion. So what is Krishna's purpose? To establish Pandavas onto the throne and wipe out the Kauravas. Although they both belong to the same family, why is Krishna also being partial? Now we see, according to the Vedic culture, the king is known as Naradeva. Naradeva means one who is the representative of God. And then what is he doing? He is providing security and protection for all the praja. Praja doesn't mean that it's only the human beings. Praja includes all living entities. And Krishna saw that Duryodhana and Dhṛtarāṣṭra, they won't be able to offer this kind of good government to the people. Now, before Krishna took further action, what did he do? He sent Akrura as a messenger to study what's happening in the Hastinapur, right? And then Akrura understands Dhṛtarāṣṭra was ill-motivated. He had bad intentions and he was making plans to wipe out Pandavas. And Akrura listens to Kunti, what all she went through so far. And then after listening to Kunti and after understanding that Dhṛtarāṣṭra had good counsel from Bhishma as well as Vidura, still he is very wanting to stick with his plans. Then Akrura also advises him, saying that, don't do this, don't get into this conspiracy against Pandavas. Rather, you become equal visioned. Then Dhṛtarāṣṭra says, no, I can't, because my mind is flickering and these good instructions doesn't stay in my mind. So anyways, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now he has come in the Yadu dynasty. He's there to establish dharma. He will do it anyways. So let us live to the time. So he's indicating that, I don't want to be part of it. Now this is the mentality of a materialistic person, that he doesn't want to give up his plans. He wants to concoct his way of religion. And Srimad Bhagavatam propounds dharma projita kaitava. So Bhagavatam says we are rejecting all kinds of irreligious activities which are motivated, materially motivated. Now there are 5 kinds of irreligion, adharma, which looks like dharma, but they are not dharma. What are the 5 kinds? One is vidharma. Vidharma means irreligion. That which obstructs one's dharma, although one considers it to be, it obstructs the execution of one's dharma, although one considers it to be dharma. It looks like dharma, they're performing, but it's not dharma. Second is paradharma. You imitate religion and it is introduced by someone else, or you're performing someone else's activities, which is not good for your Krishna consciousness. 3, abhasa dharma, which means pretentious religion. This means whimsically worshipping some demigod by imagination or willfully neglecting one's own prescribed duties. Here especially is neglecting one's own Krishna consciousness. And 4 is upadharma, concocted religion. These religions are usually created by proud people, that I can understand, take something from the Vedas and I can start out new religions. But he himself, he poses as follower of the Vedas. Like example is Mayavadis, right? They study Vedas, they study Vedanta Sutras, and they also give commentary on the Vedas. But still, they don't understand the essence of the Vedas, is to serve Krishna, surrender to Krishna. And the last one is Chala Dharma, cheating religion. Here we misinterpret the scriptures by word jugglery. We have seen, Prabhupada says there are 600 editions of Bhagavad-gītā available in the world. But not all Bhagavad-gītas are producing devotees because there is a lot of word jugglery going on. But here Prabhupada ensure that it is coming in the parampara and he is presenting what Krishna wanting us to learn from him. So who can start up a religion? Who can start up a religion? Me, you? No, it's Krishna. Yamaraj says, Dharmattu sakshat bhagavad pranita. So the laws of religion are enacted only by Supreme Personality of Godhead. Not by the great rishis, not by the demigods, not by the siddhas, not by the great purushas. And then what to speak of asuras or humans? It is not our job to enact the principles of dharma. So, now why Krishna comes? Krishna comes to protect devotees. Krishna also comes to protect brahmanas, cows, religious principles, Vedic literatures, and all the principles that fulfill one's purpose of life. This is spoken by Sukadeva Goswami in the beginning, before the description of Matsya avatar. Why the Lord appears in different avatars, in different yugas? Because he comes to protect all these. So, now this is the defect in Duryodhana's rule. Because he is envious, right? He is envious of his own brothers. Now the king has to be equal, he has to be equal to everyone. Now he is not even equal to his own brothers. How would he bring equality among the people? Right? So this is the defect of the conditioned soul, that by nature, by being in the material world, we become matsara, we become envious. There's a nice story I heard long time ago. There was a person in a small village and he was praying to God. And the God appeared. And the God asked, what do you want? Dear God, I want some prosperity. Then God said, okay, but on one condition. Whatever I will give you, I will give your neighbor twice as what you got. And he said, okay. So, and then he gets some money. Then again he starts to pray. Then he says, I want a building, a house. Then God says, okay. And the next day morning, this person goes out of his house to see what is happening with his neighbor. And the neighbor got 2 houses. Okay. Then he's thinking already in his mind, he didn't get anything because of his credit. This is all because of me favoring on him. You know, because I asked God and God put this condition and I am favoring on him. Then again he starts to pray to God. God, please give me. Then the God asks, what do you want? Now the house is too small. Our family is big. Can we have a triple-storied building? Okay. Krishna sanctioned it. Then he runs in the morning outside to see what does the neighbor got. He got a 6-storied building. Again he's thinking, oh, this is because he's getting the favors because of me. Now his envy has increased. Then again he prays to God and he asks God, God asks, what do you want? God, remove one of my eye. And then God says, okay. Then he goes in the morning to see if the 2 eyes of the neighbor are removed or not. So this is the nature that whatever we have, we always compare with others and we envy others. And this is the problem of Dhṛtarāṣṭra. This is the problem of Duryodhana. Why? Because Dhṛtarāṣṭra was born blind. Although he was legally rightful owner of the kingdom, because of his material defect, he was not chosen to be king. Then Pāṇḍu was given the choice to become the king. When Pāṇḍu became the king, his sons were the rightful inherent for the kingdom. But as Pāṇḍu died in between, so Dhṛtarāṣṭra, on an emergency basis he came and he became a king. Now he is thinking, why not my sons become the king? Why not my sons rule the kingdom rather than giving to the Pandus? Although the Pāṇḍavāś and Kauravas, they belong to the same family, this attachment, this bodily attachment is leading him to make a choice which is destructive for his entire clan. Now, so, sorry, 1 second. Yeah. So, but now we will see what will be a question, what can we learn if a Krishna conscious person asks a question. Now we are dealing with question and answers, right? So we will go to some personal application, learning some examples from Srimad Bhagavatam and CC. So we see Parikshit Maharaj. He is at the verge of death and he has accepted, and it was an accident. Accidentally he placed the death snake on the rishi and his son cursed him to die in 7 days. Actually there's no much wrong on Parikshit Maharaj, but still when the curse came, he accepted as the will of the Lord. And then what is Parikshit, when he met Sukadeva Goswami, what was the first question he asked? Please, after proper deliberation, tell me what is the duty that everyone has to perform in all circumstances, and specifically for those who are at the verge of death. Then Srila Prabhupada writes in that purport saying that everyone is a dying man. So we should be interested in this question to know that what should be our duty. Then Sukadeva Goswami praises the question of Parikshit Maharaj saying, Śrī Kṛṣṇa Varyan esa te prasna krita loka hritam nipa atmavet samvata pumsa shrota vaidishu yatpara. Sukadeva Goswami said, my dear king, your question is glorious because it is very beneficial to all kinds of people. The answer to this question is the prime subject matter of hearing as it is approved by the transcendentalist. So, as a devotee, we need to ask these kind of questions. Just 1 second. Yeah. So, and Sukadeva Goswami continues saying, those persons who are materially engrossed, being blind to knowledge of the ultimate truth, have many subject matters to speak about. And persons who are envious householders, whose life is just about making money, or in sex indulgence, or in sleeping, or maintaining family members, they don't make these kind of inquiries. And he also mentions that how people devoid of Atma Tattva do not inquire into the problems of life, because they're so much attached to their infallible soldiers, to the body, to children, and to the wife. Although they're very sufficiently experienced, they don't see their inevitable destruction. So this is exactly what is happening with Dhṛtarāṣṭra, because he is so attached to his sons. Although he has seen the truth before his eyes, he knows Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, still he doesn't want to pay attention to the Atma Tattva, to ask about the real problems of life, what is the purpose of life. So Sukadeva Goswami goes on and praising Parikshit, saying, O descendant of King Bharata, one who desires to be free from all miseries must hear about, glorify, and also remember the personality of Godhead, who is the super soul, the controller and savior of all miseries. So one should hear, glorify, and also remember. So hearing should lead us to glorifying. Glorifying should lead us to remembrance. Then we will be transcending about the material miseries. So every question that we ask when it is related to the purpose of life is a nice question, because the subject matter of that question is about hearing and glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then, because it is compared to the Ganges. Wherever Ganges flow, it purifies. The land, the people who take dip in the Ganges, they get purified. So similarly, when we come and ask questions, the three people get benefited. The speaker, the audience, and the person who is asking. All these three people get benefited because of one nice question. And that question should be very Krishna conscious for leading to the purpose of the life. So we should also be endeavoring to asking questions. Now another example that we see from the Chaitanya Charitamrita is Sanatana Goswami. We know Sanatana Goswami is such a learned person, but still when he came to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has some questions. We will read some questions. Sorry. Oh yeah, sorry, 1 second. Sorry, I don't remember the question. I have to look into the question. Yes, this one. So the first question that Sanatana Goswami asked, Ke ami ke amaya jare tapatray ihad nahi jai ke mein hita hai. So he's asking, who am I? Why do threefold miseries always give me trouble? If I don't know this, how can I be benefited? Now, and after that, he asks, actually, I don't know how to inquire about the goal of life and the process of obtaining it, but you this upon me. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Lord Krishna has full mercy on you, that's why you're asking these questions. And then, because you have awakened to the spiritual consciousness, you are now eligible to spread the Krishna consciousness. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains how the jiva is marginal energy and how the jiva has the tendency to move towards the material world and move towards the selfishness instead of serving Krishna. This is because he is covered over by the influence of nescience, influence of ignorance. Then, becoming forgetful of Krishna, what is the living entity doing? The living entity is thinking, I am the master, instead of becoming the servant. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Jivera hoy, Krishnera nityadas. He establishes, this is the platform where the instructions to Sanatana Goswami is built on. Jivera hoy, Krishnera nityadas. So, again, by these questions, what did we learn? We learned that we get enlightened, we get satisfaction, right? Any question and answers that we ask, we are looking for some satisfaction, right? That gives us some pleasure. But we have to understand these questions, some questions may be necessary. You know, when is the postman coming? When is the security guard coming? But, you know, those don't really give satisfaction to the soul. But the essential questions, when asked, then that will give the satisfaction of the soul. Why? Because this is related to Krishna. We are directly connecting ourselves to Krishna and we want to establish ourselves as servant again. We want to regain our constitutional position. So Prabhupada says, why is everyone asking questions perpetually? Because they want to be satisfied. So satisfaction of the soul can be obtained only when we have question and answers in regards to Krishna. We see the entire Bhagavatam, we see Bhagavad-gītā, we see Chaitanya Charitamrita. There are so many dialogues that is happening with many, many devotees or between Krishna and his devotees. And all these are relating to help them to hear, glorify and remember Krishna. Right? So studying, hearing and reading Bhagavatam will derive great satisfaction to us. So here Dhṛtarāṣṭra, coming back to the same verse, here Dhṛtarāṣṭra is asking, what did they do? Now Prabhupada says in the lecture, Prabhupada gave a lecture in London on this verse. Prabhupada was asking, if a hungry man gets a plate of food and you give him a plate of food, and after that you are asking him, what did you do? So it's foolish. So when they both have gathered on the battlefield of Kurukṣetra, they're meant to fight. So what is the point of asking this question? So the questions, we have to make an endeavor to make right questions, ask right questions, so that will help us in our Krishna consciousness. So one should learn Srimad Bhagavatam and make an all-around solution for all the problems, and for whatever the problems that we have, all the solution is in the Bhagavatam. Everything is in Krishna consciousness. Here, even in this Purport, Prabhupada says that the way of teaching here, we understand Bhagavad-gītā. How do we understand? Krishna is explaining and Arjuna is understanding. And this is coming again in the line of disciplic succession. So we are also advised, we are also directed by Krishna saying, Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshana. By submissive inquiry and by service, we will approach a spiritual master who has already seen this truth. By such inquiries, we will be satisfied. In the CC Adi Leela, Prabhupada writes in 2.2 Purport, the soul can be solaced only by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his bona fide followers. And what the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his followers are teaching? Chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. They are asking us to engage in hearing, chanting, dancing and feasting. So if we avail ourselves to this process, then we will feel utmost satisfaction. Now these kind of doubts, fears wouldn't arise in our minds. And even if they arise, we always have this guidance from our senior devotees, from the peers. Sometimes even the newcomer who is coming, they can also teach us so many things. The other day we were distributing a book and someone asked us a question, and then I was thinking, oh right, I never thought about it like that. You know, he didn't read books yet, he didn't start the bhakti process yet, but a simple question that he asked was like, oh yeah, why didn't I think about it? You know. So everyone who is part of this Krishna conscious movement, they are helping us to ask better questions and achieve Krishna Prema. And Prabhupada says, Krishna conscious movement is to train people to become non-envious. And this is first-class scientific movement. And there is no compromise to it. So what can we take from this? An inquiry or a question has starting up a conversation in the Bhagavad-gītā. And we have seen a question gave a revelation or revealing Dhṛtarāṣṭra's mind. And also we have seen how Dhṛtarāṣṭra was oriented, which way, what is his purpose. His purpose is to, by hook or crook, he wants to get the kingdom for his sons. And also this question defined his priorities. He was not equal to both of his sons. He was discriminating between his sons and the Pāṇḍu's sons. And then this question also helped us to understand where we are at and where we want to go. So if there are any questions, please, if there are any corrections or suggestions. Forgive me for my shortcomings, and if there are any questions or comments or additions, most welcome. No questions? Okay. So we will...
What is the main desire of Krishna in this situation? What what's the main purpose?
Krishna wanted a Krishna conscious government to be established. When a Krishna conscious government is established, there is a balance between material and spiritual ashram and varna, both. And the aim is on the development of the Krishna consciousness.
But he can do that through material energy and demigods.
No, but he's already arranging the entire facility for us. He's arranging the entire facility for us. You see, he cannot take away our free will, our independence. But at the same time, he wants to establish the religious principles so that every living entity gets a chance to start their Krishna consciousness, progress in their Krishna consciousness. So, a management is needed. Temple can run haphazardly or temple can run in a very organized way by the management, right? So if there is a management, they will take over the responsibilities.
But why like person?
Why the war? Why the killing? That's what you mean?
Yes, and why he came like
personally?
Like himself, like a person.
Yeah, we also read 4.9 Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvatah tvatva deham puna janma naitimam itti so Arjuna. Krishna says, if anyone knows about my birth or activities, and that becomes that will be in their thought process. And just by thinking about it, they will go back to Krishna. Because at the time of death, whatever we are thinking, that will determine our path, right?
Like darshan.
Yes. Yes. So Krishna also needs to have a very organized, although material energy is there, that is his energy, but the living entities also have this independence to choose Krishna or not to choose Krishna. We will see in this chapter, there are many great warriors who have taken sides of Duryodhana and who have taken sides of Krishna. And they have their own reasons why they have chosen Krishna or the other party, right? So whoever is choosing the other party, Duryodhana and his party, they also got liberation. However, Krishna wants to show, even like great Bhishma. Bhishma was very virtuous. He was very kind-hearted, but still he took a vow that he will serve whoever is on the throne, no matter whether they're right or wrong. Now Krishna was showing what? Even you can be the righteous person in this world, but if you don't follow what I'm asking for, you're doomed. Again, the same point that what we were discussing, the religious principles are not enacted by us. It's enacted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. But again, it's not a force. It is an individual choice. That is my understanding.
Also revealed for us Bhagavad-gītā.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, like in 2.7, in the second chapter, Prabhupada writes that, Arjuna was put in ignorance so that, this Bhagavad-gītā is, comes into light for us. Yes. Thank you. That's a nice point.
And maybe also revealed some lila.
Yes. This is all pastimes of the Lord. This is activities of the Lord.
Because I think Krishna always enjoyed,
Yes.
not suffering, not
And also it's kind of irony, because one side you're killing the body, but again we are establishing we are not the body on the battlefield of Kurukṣetra. So We are getting the highest truth, but we have to perform. Like Arjuna was puzzled with the same question, how can I kill? But then Krishna is saying they are not the bodies. But still, to establish dharma in this world, we need to do certain things. Again, not whimsically, with the guidance. They, of course, Pāṇḍavāś were very, they were fighting very valiantly, and they were killing. But, and they also went through pain and grief, undoubtedly. But again, this is to establish the Krishna conscious government and society. Yeah.
Arjuna wanted to establish dharma, and Krishna wanted to establish Sanatana dharma.
Yes, yes. Any other questions or comments? If not, we'll wind up. Thank you so much for your patience. Forgive me for all my shortcomings. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.